Welcome to Kentucky Speedway, and for the first time here on ESPN, we are here at the newly rescanned version of this track. Sam Bennett in the booth with you. This is the final race of the round of 8, and this will decide the final 4 with the next week's mystery track, which will be announced on Friday night by Liga and Kevin Pasky. But we're here with Paskies here on ESPN, the Esports Broadcasting Network. Joining me in the booth again is Mr. Frank Marchese. Frank, after last week's drama, we're going to be expecting a bit more here tonight.
Yeah, it came back for more, especially now that this is the race that's going to set the field for the Final Four, the Championship 4. This is going to be very exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, as qualifying is underway right now, and we're looking at Lonnie Barrington just making his way around the track at this moment. So let's get a look at what is going on so far. Matthew Tyrrell currently sitting at the top of the board. Had a pretty mediocre race compared to what he's done in the past here, Frank. Hopefully looking for a better result here tonight. One man that's sitting in second, though, is Mr. Kyle Gilbert. He is going to be looking to have a much improved race here tonight. He's currently on the outside looking in.
Yes, second by not that much. You see, first and second, Tyrrell's ran a 30.741. Gilbert ran a 742. So those two are really up on it. But yeah, especially guys like Kyle Gilbert, guys on the outside looking in. If I could just get this back up here, because like a broadcasting genius, I closed it. Robert Jenkins just 1 point shy. Kyle Gilbert is 2 points shy of the transfer spot. Lonnie Barrington and of the situations, but from 1 all the way down to 8, there's only 18 points in it. So there is very much a hope for the drivers of the number 5 and the 23.
Yeah, as we just saw Mark McFadden try his qualifying run, didn't really work out for himself. We're going to look at Sean Weaver, who's just absolutely planted the outside wall, and his qualifying is going to be coming to an abrupt end there. As we are, let's go to put the time actually for that one, as we've got just over 5 minutes left in qualifying. Still waiting for times from Devin Doss, Ronnie Osborne, Mike Whitaker, Ryan Patty, and Mark McFadden. We've got 16 drivers set to take the green for this one. It seems to be about the norm for this league at the moment during this playoff period, as we are seeing Ronnie Osborne now taken to the track right now in that number 55.
Yeah, Osborne trying to wiggle around and warm up the tires. And now, again, as you mentioned right at the top of the broadcast, this is the new freshly scanned version of the Kentucky Speedway. This track used to be unbelievably bumpy. And if we're still watching Osborne here, you can see turn 1 has been completely reprofiled. It's not the progressive banking that it used to be. And Osborne, loose, just holds on. So it's not the progressive banking in 1 and 2 anymore, and it's also not as far down to the wall. There was only about a car width's worth of apron down on the older version in 1 and 2, but now there's a nice wide gap. Going to make for some entertaining racing going into 1, and strategy for 3 and 4 as well.
Yeah, as we're on board with Ronnie Osborne as he starts his second lap there, kind of needs to take it easy on this second lap here, and I can already see that turn 2 is going to be a problem corner for these guys when they go green, as Osborne made it around safely. He's going to make it into turns 3 and 4. Osborne running for he actually is part of a professional team. Runs with Our Motorsports, which is a new team in the Xfinity Series. And they run pretty strongly in the ARCA series, the ARCA National Series. So Ronnie running with those guys, hoping to get sponsorship so he can run in the car, but at the moment running as part of their pit crew.
It sets a very respectable time at a 7:39, good enough to put him in third, the last of the guys to qualify to run in the 7th. So a very solid run for Ronnie Osborne.
Yeah, less than 1/10 of a second separating your top 5. That is pretty impressive. I was looking at Ryan Patty now making his way through the tri-oval down across the line. And the first time good enough for P12. It's usually the second lap where they really get the competitive times in, though.
Yeah, especially around here. And as I was saying, this turn 1 and 2 is going to play a real big role for strategy in 3 and 4. You can tell that 1 and 2 is that nice high banking. Turns 3 and 4 very, very wide, but also very, very flat. In these trucks especially, you can run turns 1 and 2 wide open, but how long do you dare to do that and continue to pound those tires? You do that long enough, it's just going to make it more and more difficult for you in 3 and 4 as the run goes on.
Yeah, Ryan Patty moving up to P3, so that's another one in the top 5, moving up very quickly as we are ticking down the last few minutes of this qualifying session. And the top 6 now separated by less than a tenth of a second.
Yeah, it's been a very competitive field, and Devin Doss actually in practice, now I don't know exactly which lap or how deep into the run he set it, but Devin Doss is our first car to have not qualified. He actually set a time in practice that was quicker than the pole time in practice. He set a 7:12, so especially for a playoff driver, I would be very surprised if he doesn't take qualifying, especially with how quick he is shown to be.
Finished third last week at Talladega, so definitely going to be looking to get a good result again here tonight. Would be remiss if I didn't mention the other playoff drivers in the field. Bob Lacavara and Lonnie Barrington very much on the back foot. Really do need a good result here tonight, Frank.
Yes, they do, and I believe Lacavara is the slowest of the qualifiers, only hit a 32.9. He must have had some sort of issue there, and Barrington also outside of the 30s at a 31.026. So they're already on the back foot, but right now it's not looking too great for those two. But there's still the entirety of this race to go, 120 laps.
Yep, so while we're on the last minute of qualifying here, just want to go through your top 10 before we do go to the grid for this one. Matthew Tyrrell currently on the pole, Carl Gilbert in second, Ryan Patty in third, Ronnie Osborne in fourth, and Cody Dempster rounding out your top 5. Mark Jenkins in P6. 7th is Tanner Costa. 8th is Kevin Paskwich. We'll talk about those in just a second. 9th is Lonnie Barrington, and 10th is Rob Jenkins. Another playoff driver on the outside looking in there, Frank. Rob Jenkins, another one that kind of needs to step up his game here tonight.
Yeah, he had a really good run at Talladega, soiled, got into a couple of incidences, and just never really got back into the fold. He was there towards the end of the race, but that big accident right on that last lap was very, very costly for him. Still only a point under the cut line, but still, that point could be almost seemingly insurmountable sometimes.
Really. So with that, let's go to the grid for tonight's race as we are ready to set these guys loose, as we are ready for 120 laps of racing action. So with that, let's go through the grid. On the front row will be Carl Gilbert. Row 2 will be Ryan Patty and Ronnie Osmer. Row 3 will be Cody Dempster and Mark Jenkins. Row 4 will be Tanner Costa and Kevin Paskwich. And row 5 will be Lonnie Barrington and Rob Jenkins. Frank, do you want to take the rest?
Row 6 will see Sean Weaver next to Tyrone Harris, Bob Lacavara, and Mike Weaver will hold row 7. And Devin Doss, who again did not qualify, and Mark McFadden will round out the remainder of this 16 truck field.
And that is your field set for 120 laps of racing action here tonight on ESPN. Make sure you check out Adam Chapman on the other side of the booth as well. He is currently with the iRacing East Series, their Cup Series, taking part every Monday here on ESPN. Going to be looking forward to seeing that one as we see the drivers lining up in pit road in that very unusual staggered formation. I'm guessing the more we see these new tracks get scanned, the more we're going to see this staggered formation on these tracks.
Yeah, in pre-race, this is usually how these guys will line up. Gives a little bit more room to maneuver down pit road. Gives the fans a little bit more to see. as these cars start to roll off here as the pace truck peels away, and Matt Tyrrell will lead them on to the circuit.
Yeah, and this track, not the most lit up of tracks, I will admit. As far as floodlighting goes on tracks, Kentucky's not the brightest in the world, is it?
Yeah, no, this one is, especially this newer version, it's plenty bright enough, but still you get that, it's especially down in 3 and 4, because it's so wide and it's so flat, it does get kind of hard to see around here sometimes, definitely, yes.
While we're on the pace lap, we're just going to take a look at one of the drivers in the field. That's the man sitting in second place, is Kyle Gilbert. We wanted to pay tribute to that particular driver on Saturday. Unfortunately, he didn't have the right paint scheme on, but tonight he does. And you see on the front of his hood there, paying tribute to his aunt, who sadly passed away last week. Definitely sorely missed. And that is a picture from his graduation, I believe, with his aunt, and really sad to see him lose a loved one like he did, but good to see him paying tribute like he has as the pace car peels off. Frank, get us going.
Pace car peels off, getting set. Tyrrell and Gilbert pacing the field now. As we get down towards the line, the green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at Kentucky.
Yeah, as they fly off towards turn 1. Who is going to get the advantage going towards next week's finale? We'll find out after this race is over, as I'm going to take over to the left there as they come flying out of turn 2. Now, like I said earlier in the broadcast, watch out for turn 2. And he was true on his prediction. He said he was going to hit the wall on the exit of turn 2, and he definitely did that. And he's not really losing spots there, just a bit of a scrape on the side of the door, not really hurting him too much there, as Matthew Tyrrell dicing it out with Kyle Gilbert there going into turn 1. Now Gilbert and Tyrrell, no strangers to each other on the track, definitely know how to race alongside each other. It looks like Gilbert has the upper hand here coming down the Kentucky Speedway backstretch.
Yeah, no, and these two were right up on each other the entire way through the round of 12, kind of laid back with each other at Talladega. But here, there's no, there's going to be no, no friendliness here. It's going to be all competition.
And you see Tyrrell all over the back of Gilbert as they fly off into turn 1 again. Gilbert actually getting a better run that time round as they fly out of turn 2. Right behind them, you've got Cody Dempster up to 3rd place. He's a part-time runner in this series. Not showing that he's a part-time runner. I've raced with him in IndyCars before. He's a very capable driver. Ryan Patty, we've seen him plenty of times before, running Cheez-Its on his truck this time round.
Yeah, it is. He's got the Kellogg's on the back, Cheez-Its on the front. I'm a fan of both.
Yeah. We don't get Cheez-Its over here, but you know, it is what it is. We get Cheetos. We get Cheetos.
Oh, the Cheetos aren't that bad.
But looking back at Tanner Costa there, winner from last time out at Talladega, really wanted that win. I believe that was his first race win of the season, so good to see him finally on the top step of the podium, just holding off Ronnie Osborne there. And right behind them is the man that finished second at Talladega, Kevin Pasky, probably very unlucky last week because he had a pretty big lead after that last lap wreck, but unfortunately Costa was able to catch him before that checkered flag there, Frank.
Yeah, but as you do at Talladega, it's very, very hard to keep a lead. Once you get way out in front, you're pretty much a sitting duck for anyone coming up behind you, and that's exactly the position Pasky found himself in. He did not make it easy by any means for Tanner Costa, almost putting him in the wall coming out of 4. But a very, very clean race and a nice little wreck at the end there.
Now, as Pasky looks to the inside of Ronnie Osborne, through turns 1 and 2, and big slide for life there by Pasky, which gets the job done. Up to P6 now. Let's go back to the front of the field though. Gilbert not able to shake off Matthew Tyrrell at the moment. Tyrrell looking high, but still not able to close the gap on him. Dempster still right behind them as well, as they're kind of starting to get settled down now. We're already on lap 7 of 120.
Yeah, this is kind of what happens at these speedway circuits. And again, you've been saying that The top three are right on each other. Remember, 1 and 2, Gilbert and Tyrrell were only separated by 1/1000th of a second. And Dempster moving up, I believe he started in P5 with an 8:12. So they right on top of each other in times, and as you see, right on top of each other on race.
As Dempster right behind Tyrrell now. Ryan Patty falling back ever so slightly. We're seeing some position changes further back as Mark Jenkins getting around Ronnie Osmer. It looks like that damage on the right side of Osmer's truck is causing him a few issues there as he's fallen in another couple of spots there. Pasky got him a couple of laps ago, we saw that, and now Mark Jenkins getting around him. Lonnie Barrington going to be the next one to try and get around him now.
Yeah, you can see there's a little bit of damage. That rear, that skirt on the right rear behind the tailpipe is a little bit curled in, as well as the skirt at the front behind the right front tires curled in a little bit as well. That's certainly not going to do him any favors as far as handling is concerned.
So here comes Lonnie Barrington now, taking a look to the inside. Osmer still has speed in that truck, so don't think he'll give that up too easily. Devin Doss up to the top 10 now, just getting around Tyrone Harris. You mentioned him starting near the back of the field. He's definitely making headway right now as he's already back up into the top 10 there now, Frank.
Yeah, I think we're going to see how fast his truck really is. He's finally gotten out of traffic. He's got a second now of clearance ahead of him, some clear room, as you see Tyrone Harris not willing to let him go through 3 and 4. Just barely cleared, but Harris is going to get him. It looked like from that angle that Jenkins was going to take him 3 wide. But now I think we could really see, with fresh air in front of him, I think we could really see how fast Devin Doss's truck is.
Yeah, definitely a man trying to raise his way into that Final Four. Remember, we are crowning a brand new champion this season. This man, Tanner Costa, has the best advantage of getting into that the Final Four. We'd say we're crowning a new champion. Last season's champion, Chris Bouchard, opted to step back after winning his 3rd championship in a row last season. So this gives gives everybody an opportunity to claim their own glory in this series, and with no champions in the field. Ronnie Osmer is the season 1 champion, but only ran part-time this season. It's looking good for everybody to stamp their own claim to fame in this series.
I bet you a lot of NASCAR drivers would have wished that Jimmy Johnson would have just stepped back a little bit while he was winning, 7 championships in 10 years? Yeah. I think that was just an unconscious run, but a very charitable effort there from Bouchard. And yes, this, as you mentioned, Tanner Coster, having won his first ever Pasky's truck race last week, is in the best position, at least for right now, to do that.
Yeah, we've had problems for one of the playoff drivers, as Paul Lacavara currently sitting at the back of the field there behind Mark McFadden. The Canadian just staying ahead of him, but not the way you want to get into the Final Four if you're Bob Lacavara and looking at all the trucks in front of you, knowing that you are in a not in a must-win situation, but you definitely got to get a better result than you did last week.
Yeah, as I mentioned, he was the slowest of the guys that actually took qualifying, so it might just be something about this circuit that's just not suiting his driving style, or something's going on. It doesn't look like he has any damage, so it might just be his uncomfortability with this truck on this track.
Top 4 is bunched up again now for this race, as we're seeing Kyle Gilbert still leading this piece ahead of Matthew Tyrrell. Cody Dempster in 3rd. Ryan Patty is right there in P4. They've started to put a gap on. Tanner Costa, looks like Tyrrell got into the wall there.
Yeah, just a little bit of a kiss. He was trying to swing into turn 3, and he swung out just a little too wide. That puts Dempster right on his rear, gives Gilbert a little bit more breathing room. We mentioned, I believe I mentioned it at Talladega, the 2 races prior to Talladega, Gilbert had led 177 of 140 laps run between the Charlotte Roval and North Wilkesboro. So he's right back where he wants to be on a speedway, and he's showing how much he's enjoying it by taking this lead and leading every lap thus far.
As Dempster now trying to capitalize on that wall hit by Matthew Tyrrell, going to go underneath him out of turn 4, down towards the line, going to take a bit of the apron with him as well. They're going to be side by side, give that position to Tyrrell at the line, but here comes Dempster again, big dive down to the inside, and he will take away that second place.
Yeah, the outside line on this scan and in this configuration, the outside line isn't as big an advantage here now as it was in the older, bumpier version. It's not the progressive banking anymore. It's just one straight up banking. So that outside line is not going to be as advantageous as it was in the last configuration.
Now, as Tyrrell trying to get that position back, it looks like they're starting to put a gap on Ryan Patty, but Patty probably just sitting back there and watching everything going on in front of him and wondering, well, if I'm this far back, then they do have an accident, then I'm going to be right there. It looks like the second and third have actually reeled in Carl Gilbert at this stage now.
Yeah, they were right on him, and then as we saw before, Tyrrell had that little brush with the wall, kind of pulled them back. They started to fight, and Gilbert got away. But as we mentioned before, they were right on top of each other in qualifying, and here they are. And yes, I would not be surprised if Patty's just sitting there watching all this, saying, "Yeah, you two you three burn your tires off." As you see a fight for the lead here, as Dempster gets a look on Gilbert for the lead. Gilbert's going to hold it around the outside. Tyrrell wants to try to use some of that momentum to try to claw back to the outside, and he will. He's just barely on his corner as they enter turn 1.
That's going to let Matthew Tyrrell to the outside of Dempster now. Probably going to try and capitalise on that. Ryan Patty fancies a go as well. Now the top 4 really getting away from Tanner Costa, who's just happy to sit back there in P5. These almost on top of each other. Ryan Patty getting out of shape there right behind Tyrrell.
I think he was looking to make a move going into 3 and just realized he didn't have the momentum, or he didn't have the position he wanted. But that looked like a very late move from Patty to try to get him going into 3.
Now here comes Tyrrell again to the inside of Dempster. Side by side, and this battling behind Gilbert will be pleasing Gilbert, because he knows that the more they keep battling, the more that'll help him. But who knows? We're already on lap 21 of 120. Another 100 laps left to decide this one. As almost close. Yeah, almost contact.
Pushed up big.
Yeah.
And he's going to lose the momentum. That's going to allow Patty to get under him and take that position.
Yeah, Patty up to 3rd place now, capitalising on a very brash move there by Tyrrell. Tyrrell, the pole sitter, falling back to P4 now as they fire off out of turn 2.
Oh, he hit the wall again.
Who, Tyrrell?
Yes, he did, and he's got some nice right front fender damage now. Hit the wall again, the middle of the back straightaway. It just looked like the back end of the car snapped in on him.
He's got to be thankful that the trucks don't have the new damage model yet, because if that would have happened with the new damage model, that would have ripped that right front wheel clean off.
Yeah, no, and he's got a nice little bit of right front fender damage, and you can tell it's affecting him. He's fallen off this group here, and Gilbert's just tapped it as well.
Yeah, they're getting late into the run now. The trucks are starting to get a bit loose on those older tyres, and Gilbert looking to go high now to try and get some grip up there in those marbles and find someone stays ahead, but Dempster and Patty right there. Tyrrell is falling back by a rate of knots now, and this leaves the top 3 now: Kyle Gilbert, Cody Dempster and Ryan Patty, as they are now on lap 24 of 120. It's getting heated up early on here, Frank.
Yeah, just looking at it, Dempster looks like he's got the best car of this trio, and you can definitely tell that that Tyrrell has hurt his car badly. That was a nice little slap he took on the backstretch. And you can see just looming in the back there, Tanner Costa just hanging around still. He's not in any sort of contention right here, but he is looming.
Yeah, and he's already started reeling in Matthew Tyrrell, and that's going to put a smile on his face. You know, Costa, if he gets the chance to pass another playoff driver, that's going to please him no end. As we're looking at Mark Jenkins there back in P6, and Kevin Pasky running by himself. Everybody's pretty much spread out now, apart from the top 3.
Yeah, that's what happens at these circuits. You realize sometimes you run the tires off a little earlier than you're expecting to. You get into, you kind of just fall into these big gaps, and there's very little racing going on sometimes here at these tracks. But the racing is where it counts, though, for the lead, and it's been a good one.
Yeah, we were just looking back at the battle between McFadden, Weaver, and Barrington. Those guys side by side as they're battling out for P11 right now, as they got away from Tyrone Harris. Devin Doss has fallen back to P15, and that might spell trouble there for the 95 early on here, Frank.
Yeah, it has, and it might, especially. I'm trying to see if he's got any... Oh, he hit the wall there. Well, now he's got damage.
Yeah, he's got the exact same damage as his teammate Matthew Tyrrell, so... wow.
You look like he might have hit that a little bit harder than Tyrrell. I mean, Tyrrell hit hard, but that looked like a very good lick from Doss.
Yeah, he's definitely shifted one of the panels on the right front of that car.
Yep, it looks exactly the same as Tyrrell's.
As we've got problems for Ronnie Osmer. Osmer coming to pit road. He's going to be the first driver to make a green flag pit stop here, and you can kind of understand why. Got that damage early on as we're going back to the lead battle here. Cody Dempster with a big early dive there, big dive down below of Kyle Gilbert. Gilbert using that outside line to his advantage, though. Big run of speed on that outside line. That's let Patty take the outside line as well. I wonder if Dempsey just dove it in too early and just lost all that momentum, let Kyle Gilbert just sail on the outside.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happened. Sailed it in a little too deep. You have to slow up a little bit more in the center, and right when you're getting off, right when you're starting to get back on the gas, and Patty looks like he's going to take all that momentum right to the lead.
Yeah, it looks like that outside line is coming into effect, though. So, especially out of turn 4,
yeah, 3 and 4 definitely. Not turn 1 though. Turn 1 and 2. It's still definitely preferred the bottom line, but it does look like the groove is moving up in 3 and 4 the longer this run goes on.
Now, as Ronnie Osmer is back out on pit road after repairing his truck. Actually, I don't think he's taken his fast repair because that still looks a bit damaged to me, but.
Yeah, he might have hit it again because that you can see right behind the tailpipe on the right side. That looks even more bent in than it was.
I wonder if that's the reason why he took it down to pit road. I mean, they've only got one fast repair here tonight as they come out of as Ronnie Osborne just sails by Bob Lacavara.
I think he hit the wall again.
Yeah, I think he did. Wow.
Yeah, you can even see it now. He's hit that rear corner good. The rear spoiler in the right rear corner is crinkled up now. You can see that on the wide pan there.
Devin Doss not having a good time here tonight. He decides to bring it in pit road early along with Bob Lacavara and Lonnie Barrington. 3 playoff drivers in a bit of trouble here tonight as we go back to your leaders. And Kyle Gilbert still in the lead there. Patty trying to look for that inside line. Does get the inside line.
Touch.
Big move there for Ryan Patty. Finally shifts Gilbert up a lane and gets the bottom line, but Gilbert still looks strong on that outside line. Is he going to try and get it? Well, sail around the outside, keep it wound up on the high side. He's going to need to keep it there. And Gilbert does use that high line to his advantage and holds on to lead by some miracle, it seems.
Yeah, that second to third, that second lane has really come in here. Patty's going to have the run in the preferred lane in 1 and 2, but Gilbert doing a masterful job of holding off on the outside lane.
Now, as they come flying out of turn 2 again, and still side by side, big drag race towards turn 3. Gilbert now in the preferred line going through 3 and 4, and here comes Dempster again looking for a shot as well.
Yeah, he's riding that seam in 3 and 4 and riding it all the way out to the wall. He's doing a great job here. Wouldn't be surprised to see Patty try to make it to the outside, but Dempster's going to get on his inside. Wouldn't be too concerned because, again, going into turn 3, that middle lane definitely looks like the preferred line now. That lane is definitely shifted up.
Yeah, as Patty's still going to regroup, trying to reel back in Kyle Gilbert as they go high through 3 and 4. And Dempster into the wall. Wow.
This has been a great race up here at the front.
Oh, yeah.
And the best part is it's two non-playoff drivers. It looks like Patty may have nicked the apron there in the middle of 1 and 2. Got his truck a little upset, pushed it up the hill a little bit.
Yeah, kind of lost a tiny bit of momentum there, but it's very quick to get it back. Patty being very impressive since he made his debut earlier in the season. We've got another driver in pit road now. Tyron Harris is in pit road. Matthew Tyrrell still out there, but look who's right on his tailgate now, Frank. Looks like Tanner Costa's finally caught up to the 19.
Yeah, Tanner Coster has just been riding around here trying to keep his tires in check. He's been doing a fantastic job tonight, and with that damage that Tyrrell has, that's only sped up Coster's ability to catch him, as he's not that far behind. He's got about a little bit less than a half a second as they go through 3 and 4 here.
Go back to another battle here. That's between Rob Jenkins and Kevin Pasky, but look who's right underneath them. That is Devin Doss, who's currently at last on the track right now, and doesn't seem to be still not having a good time. But Rob Jenkins and Kevin Pasky just can't get past him either.
Yeah, no, and we're seeing a lot of guys. We mentioned Tyrrell and Osmer, but that same damage is on both of the Jenkins brothers. That the right rear corner, right before the right rear tire, and right behind the right front on the skirt, folded in on the 89 and I believe the 33 as well. So we've seen a lot of guys get into most likely that turn 2 wall.
Now, as we're focused in on Mark Jenkins right now, and he's currently sitting in P8, just a few seconds ahead of this man. Mike Whitaker gave up his playoff spot, and what were we going to say there, Frank?
We have missed something here as Patty has taken the lead, and not only that, Dempster has taken second away from Gilbert.
Oh wow, Gilbert struggling later on in this run, and it was going to happen eventually. Those two were all over the back of his truck, though.
Yeah, it was, and I'm trying to go back and find out how it happened. Sure, coming off of 4, it looks like. Coming out of turn 4, Patty got a heck of a run. Oh, Gilbert just kissed the wall out of 4 with the right rear. No damage showing, but it was definitely enough to slow him up to get Patty and Dempster behind both. That was on lap 37. That had happened. So he's been behind him for a couple of laps now.
So Ryan Patty, your new leader, Cody Dempster in second, Kyle Gilbert in third. Matthew Tyrrell still holding on to P4, and he's actually starting to get away from Tanner Costa again. Costa hasn't hit anything, but again, as I've already mentioned, as Gilbert is in pit road now, Frank.
Yeah, and Tanner Costa looks like he's coming down to pit road as well. Putting on 4 tires. Jenkins in as well as Paskowicz. They're following. That entire group there has followed Costa into the pits.
Yep, so Gilbert, Costa, Jenkins, Paskowicz, and Mark Jenkins all in pit road. We're going to be waiting to see when the leaders bring it in. Ryan Patty and Cody Dempster. Actually, Dempster in now. And it looks like Tyrrell's in as well.
Yeah, it is. And Patty just got passed up by Bob Lacavara.
Oh no, it looks like Tyrrell's going to get a penalty. He could not slow down for the cones. Oh no.
That was a bad night. Worse if that is the case.
We're going to find out.
My goodness, Rob Jenkins was way behind Tanner Costa, caught up a lot going into pit road, and after exiting, he is right on the back of Tanner Costa.
Yeah, that was an epic pit stop there by the 89. As Tyrrell has a penalty.
Did not fix the damage, by the way, did Jenkins.
Oh, does Tyrrell have a penalty? Oh, Tyrrell's got a penalty! Oh, that's going to be heartbreaking for Matthew Tyrrell.
And Brian Patty in just a couple of stalls behind him. I don't think Gilbert has pit yet, has he?
He has, yeah.
Oh, he has? Okay.
But the leader of the people that have pitted is Ronnie Osmer. Remember, he made that really early pit stop, though. So I'm guessing the 55 trying to play the fuel game early, but Gilbert is not that far behind him either. And Gilbert has really got away from Cody Dempster, and he's already just passed Ryan Patty, who's just come out of pit road, and Patty going to lose positions to both Dempster and Lonnie Barrington, who's come out of nowhere. And he's made his pit stop as well.
Yeah, the undercut is going to look really, really good now, but in a couple of laps, when you start to see 10-lap-old tires versus 3 or 4-lap-old tires like you're seeing here with Gilbert and Osmer, this is the fight for effective lead. You're going to see that the undercut really, really not going to play out well in the long run.
Yeah, as Osmer gives up that lead very quickly, but here comes Dempster as well, just sailing up to the back of the 55.
Mike Whitaker just rolling right now. His last lap was a 33.985 was Whitaker's last lap. He is the official race lead. Effective race lead, though, is sitting in third place right now is Gilbert, and Whitaker's coming in right now. Wouldn't be surprised if Weaver stays out an extra lap to lead a lap, and he does. He'll probably be in next time in the 37.
Yeah. And the Northeast IT number 37 got a nice little Star Wars motif on the back of his truck dedicated to his son, who is a fan of Star Wars. So a nice little touch there for Sean Weaver. But here is Kyle Gilbert now starting to pull away from Dempster, who has got up there and is right on the back of Gilbert again. Ryan Patty quite a ways back as he's gone around Osmer as well. Osmer's still falling backwards, and they've got around Lonnie Barrington as well. So Barrington been in pit road, but doesn't seem that fast as Mike Whitaker is in his pit stall. And I'm thinking Whitaker might have a penalty as well, because he's been in there for quite some time there, Frank.
I believe so, yes. He has been sitting there for a while. And Ryan Patty, he must not have had a good pit entry. For him to be effectively 3 seconds off of Gilbert when he came into the pits in the lead, he must have had a really bad entry as Whitaker now rolling off to get out of pit road now, 1 lap down in P14.
Now going to be on the same lap as Matthew Tyrrell and Devon Doss. If you're just joining us, then you'll know that Rushby Motorsports having a horrible night tonight. Devon Doss and Matthew Tyrrell, both, looks like both of them might have been hit by penalties, because they are both still a lap down.
Yeah, they are McFadden, Harris, Lacavara, Tyrrell, Whitaker. Tyrrell is 1 lap down. He's the last truck 1 lap down. Whitaker and Doss both 2 laps down, running the tail end of the field. So the top 10 right now, the only ones on the lead lap. Sean Weaver out in the lead, still the only one not to have hit, as Dempster in the 21 truck takes over effective lead away from Kyle Gilbert just seconds ago.
Yeah, and they're still side by side as we just go to him right now, and Dempster going to do to Gilbert what Gilbert did to Dempster a few laps ago, and just sail it around the outside, and does take the net lead away. But Sean Weaver is still your overall leader, and they're catching up to him very quickly.
Yeah, those are very, very, very old tires that Sean Weaver is on, just to show a difference. A 31.497 the last time through for Dempster. Weaver's last lap, as he pulls it off into the pits right now, is a 33.955. So 2.5 seconds a lap they were catching Weaver by as Weaver comes into the pits.
Remember, this is the second race in the round of 8 here. People will be eliminated here tonight. And with the way things are looking, it looks like it might be Matthew Tyrrell, who was on the bubble coming into tonight, but sits 1 lap down and pretty much out of it right now.
A caution could get him back, though. He's the only car 1 lap down.
Yeah.
McFadden, Harris, and Lacavara have all picked up their lap with Weaver pitting. So it's still not over for him. And Tyrrell, that's why they call Talladega the wild card. You have one bad race in that wild card race at Dega. It doesn't matter that you swept the round of 12 prior to that. Just one bad race could do you in, especially the playoff format.
Yeah, and especially with Tyrrell having the mediocre race that he did have at Talladega, it's probably not going to work in his favor, especially with him being as far back as he is, especially and even with Devin Doss as well. Doss had a pretty difficult race along with his teammate, so if things stay as they are, they might be eliminated here tonight.
Yeah, and it's and as I mentioned right at the top, as Lacavara gets put a lap down to the leader, that would make him the first truck one lap down, as Sean Weaver also put a lap down, and Harris. So Tyrrell's window for a caution really slammed in on him.
Yeah, and they do need a caution. But we are approaching halfway. We've not had a single caution yet, Frank. This is pretty impressive driving by these guys.
Yeah, no, this race is about a half hour old. We've already put 60 laps down. 54 laps down as Gilbert flies way to the inside to put a lap on Harris.
Yep, and Harris will be the lucky dog recipient should we do see that caution, as it looks like Dempster getting very high towards the wall there coming out of turn 4.
Even in that first run, you could tell, even sitting behind Patty, who is actually catching these two, it appears, Dempster, you could tell out of that front 4 in the first run, he had the quickest truck out of anyone in that front 4. He just needed to be put in a position to show it. He's showing it right now, and he's pulling away from Gilbert, who led that entire first stint.
Yeah, and Gilbert knows that his his closest playoff challenges are falling by the wayside. So,
That also does de-stress you a little bit, knowing that a lot of your toughest contenders, like Tyrrell and like Doss, are having so much trouble. You can afford to play the long game here and just kind of lay off a little bit.
And is that the mindset he's in right now? He's like, right, I'm thinking of the bigger game here. Dempster can go off into the distance all he wants. I'm thinking of the bigger game here. If I finish second and everybody else is behind me, then so be it.
Yeah, that would be my thought going into it, because you don't want to race Dempster and then all of a sudden you're the one at the back of the pack instead of the one in the front. So that would be my strategy: is everyone's behind me, just let me just ride here. It doesn't really benefit me to win. It doesn't really benefit me to finish second either. In a major positive way. It's not like it's a win and you're in situation for Gilbert. He's in I believe, as I once again go back to the standings here, Gilbert is out, but only by 2 points. And he has more than made up those 2 points by now.
I should think so. He's led laps, so that's a bonus point as well. If he wins the race, that's an extra 5 points. But if you have a clean race, that's also an extra 5 points. So, when it goes towards bonus points. So, Matthew Tyrrell, he has got a bonus point for the pole. So that'll be one working in his favour as Gilbert hits the wall coming out of 4.
Yeah, it's a little too much push from Gilbert. Might have gotten the line wrong, may have judged it wrong a little bit, and just smacked that outside wall, as we've seen pretty much everyone do tonight.
Now, big moment for Dempster. Yeah, Dempster into the wall. That's going to let Gilbert back in now.
Yes, it is. I was just about to say, everyone except Dempster and Patty have knocked into that wall, and then there goes Dempster. Almost made a liar out of me.
So Gilbert now going to try and take advantage of that little wall scrape there by Cody Dempster as they fly off into turns 1 and 2. And Gilbert right there again. I wonder if Dempster might have done some pretty significant damage to that truck, because it was scraping on that wall for quite some time.
Yep, he's got that splitter curled up right behind that right front tire, as we've seen happen to Tyrrell. We saw it happen to Doss and Jenkins, and this has also allowed Patty to get right back into it. So Patty has been rolling and continues to do so.
So as we are officially halfway, this is officially the Gilbert, Dempster and Patty show, as these three have been dicing it out in the top three for pretty much most of the race here tonight. Costa still in P4 right now, and Rob Jenkins rounding out your top five as he's about to put a lap on Bob Lacavara. Mark Jenkins in 6th, 7th is Kevin Pasquich, 8th is Ronnie Osborne, 9th is Mark McFadden, and Lonnie Barrington, last driver in the top 10, is in pit road there, Frank. An early pit stop there for the 12. For the
I was just about to say he went a lap down. He is the first truck one lap down, but that might not last too long. One, because Tyrone Harris might pass him, but then you look a little bit further ahead of this lead pack here, which is now Gilbert, Patty, and then Dempster. Is Mark McFadden running in 9th, not far away from getting put one lap down.
Yeah, and we mentioned this field getting spread out very early. It definitely did that, and the only three people that have been close to each other are Gilbert, Patty and Dempster. Dempster, from that damage he sustained a couple of laps ago, is starting to feel it now. He's losing time to the 227 and the 30 right now. As the 30 taking a little sneak peek to the outside there, see if you can force an outside line pass on Gilbert there as they come around McFadden. Is this going to work in Patty's favour as they come through the tribal? Going to force the inside line here. Doesn't make it work as Gilbert, very wise to protect that inside line there, Frank.
And Patty very wise not to make it a massive situation there. Again, Patty, not a playoff driver. Gilbert is going for that Final Four, and as you said, he's on the outside looking in, just 2 points out of that cut. And one guy who was 2 points inside the cut is the guy who is unfortunately running in last place right now, Devin Doss.
Yeah, and Devin Doss still struggling back there. It's just had another lap put on him by Kevin Pasquich, and Doss just, as Doss brings it pit side, he's not having a good time here tonight. He's back in pit road again.
Wide in the back there.
Where are they?
Well, they were 3 wide. It was Dempster. Dempster looks like he's bringing it in.
He is bringing it in. Oh, slow down.
I think he said, you know what, enough of this aero push that I've got. I would not be surprised. He's got a really, really quick truck, and I would not be surprised if he takes his fast repair here.
Yeah, and that promotes... Ryan Patty just taking over the lead there. Big pass on the outside there by the 30. Ryan Patty, your new leader, with Dempster taking a pit side, though. That promotes Costa up to 3rd and Rob Jenkins up to 4th. Mark Jenkins up to 5th. But that big outside pass there by Ryan Patty, very impressive there, Frank.
Yeah, this outside line has really been working for these trucks, especially even here on the new format. In turn 3, it looks like it's working a lot better than it is in 1 and 2. But Patty has had the quickest truck this entire stint here. Not surprising at all to see him take the lead. And again, we were talking before about Gilbert kind of just not really pushing things, knowing that a lot of the guys that are in front of him in the points have hit a lot of trouble tonight. Maybe not pushing it as hard as he would. Maybe let Patty go.
As Ronnie Osborne making his way out of pit road now. He's just taken made his second pit stop. Cody Dempster is back out on track. He's rejoined in P10. We're waiting for other drivers to bring him down. This is the second round of green flag pit stops, it seems, taking place right now.
And I was right. Dempster did take his fast repair. Sorry for stepping on you there, but Dempster did take his fast repair.
Yeah. And with the pit stops happening, Tyrrell has moved up to P11 now. He's ahead of Lonnie Barrington and Devin Doss, so that might work in his favour, but with Rob Jenkins and Carl Gilbert both running strong in the top 5, again, it's not looking good for Matthew Tyrrell. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, it's really not. It was one mistake that compounded into 2, and Ryan Patty, just have to say, Patty started this run 3 seconds behind Gilbert and Dempster, the fight for the lead. He has now pulled out a second on Gilbert in seemingly no time. and it looks like he's going to pull out even more as this lap is continuing on.
Yeah, as he makes his way through the corners right there. Gilbert just falling further and further behind. He's probably burned up his tyres trying to defend from both Patty and Dempster, and now he's got a very decent gap ahead of Talon Costa, but just in a bit of a status quo right now as Gilbert just wants to ride it until the end of the stint and just get those fresh tyres on his truck eventually.
Yeah, definitely. Gilbert just lost a half a second that lap to Ryan Patty as Osmer on fresher tires go flying by, and Gilbert in the wall down the back.
As he's just done exactly the same as what Cody Dempster did.
Same as Dempster, same as Doss, same as Tyrrell. It's been, and it's funny, we were talking about turn 2 and that turn 2 wall coming up really quick on you. They've been doing this down the middle of the backstretch.
Yeah, big hello to Judy Jenkins and Byron Rodney in the YouTube chat. Byron Rodney not here tonight, obviously, because he is currently spending the night in his place of work. He's a truck driver by trade, so Byron Rodney just checking in there on the YouTube chat. Let's focus in on the Facebook chat and see how things are there, because I'm working off a phone here, so you know. I'm not running the broadcast off a phone. That would be ridiculous.
It would be impressive.
Yeah.
How in the world did you get the iRacing sim to download on your phone? My goodness.
Well, you know, I'm a man of as Liam Neeson would say, I'm a man of I have a particular set of skills. As we're still looking at Kyle Gilbert here.
Yeah, I was just about to say, he's falling back now. He's got a nice little bit of damage on the right rear corner. So that is definitely hampering him. He's almost hit that wall a couple of times since the one moment that we saw. He's fallen over more than 3 seconds behind Ryan Patty right now. Is 2.7 the last time they crossed the line. This time they crossed the line, make that... Oh, no, he actually pulled the 10th back on him.
Cody Dempster is about to take his lap back the hard way, though. Has been down pit road and is right on the back of Ryan Patty now, looking to get himself back on the lead lap down. And if he does this, and they still have to pit, let's not forget, this is really going to fall into Cody Dempster's lap right now.
It's been him, Patty, and Gilbert. We mentioned it the whole race. And Dempster has had the fastest truck when all 3 trucks are healthy. Dempster has had the quickest truck. Really not surprising to see him get this lap back the hard way and put this time on Patty. Patty ran a 33.1 that last lap to Dempster's 31.8. So he is flying on those new tires.
Still, and Dempster's actually clutching the engine through the corners. I don't know if you heard that.
No, I did not, actually.
He's clutching through the corners, so he's trying to save fuel so he can make it to the end. As we look back at Ryan Patty there, just cruising around by himself. Tanner Costa, we've not mentioned him much in the last few laps, as he's just running silently by himself in 3rd place. Got a decent gap over the Jenkins brothers. There's Rob Jenkins and there's Mark Jenkins. Kevin Paskowitz just running by himself. Well, not running by himself, he's got Lonnie Barrington right behind him, but there's a lap difference between the two of them. As, yeah, it's just so spread out right now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and not one caution yet to be found. I'm not sure if he's... At least he may not have done it that time through turn 3. That might have just been the natural falling of the engine. Oh, there he goes in turn 1 clutching it. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Dempster is saving those tires and fuel.
Yes, he is. A very smart move from Dempster. There's probably going to be another pit stop left here, and if you can extend that out as far as you can, it's a very wise move by Dempster.
As we got another playoff contender in pit road, that would be Mr. Rob Jenkins in his stall now, just driving into his stall. And I mentioned Judy Jenkins in the chat. She is Rob Jenkins and Mark Jenkins' mother, so a big shout out going to her. She's always been a long-time supporter of Pasky's and obviously her son to take part in this league. So very much one of the biggest fans of the league and this channel. So we appreciate her turning up every Monday as we're just looking at pit stop starting to take shape here. Oh, we're just seeing Mark Jenkins into the wall. We just saw somebody into the wall. What's that, Mark Jenkins?
I was actually watching Rob leave pit road on that one, if I'm honest.
Yeah, Mark Jenkins. Oh yeah, he's hit the wall. Big time right side damage on his truck.
Yeah, and he's brought it into the pits now. Yeah, he's got that same right rear corner damage that Jenkins has. I'm sorry, that Gilbert has. Pardon me. A little bit of panel damage on the right front panel. It's been a very quiet and uneventful race for those two, and it's really not always bad in that situation.
Obviously, Mark Jenkins dropping out of the playoffs after a very somewhat controversial race at North Wilkesboro, tangling with the man who's just coming to pit road right behind him, Carl Gilbert, in pit road as well. And Gilbert overshooting his pit box in a big way there, Frank.
Yes, he did, and that's going to cost him a lot. He had to back it up, reline it up, go forward, and then I think he had to back it up again. So Gilbert is spit away time on the lane. As you can see, Tanner Coster now is going to actually get out ahead of him. So this is going to cost him a full position. Forget about the track time. This is also costing track position.
Yeah, so Gilbert out behind Tanner Coster, and they're going to race it off of the apron here, and it's probably not a wise decision. We know how slippery the apron is as the race leader is in. That's Ryan Patty. Got to expect, though, that Cody Dempster will take the lead now.
And not sure if Patty knows about the the little slip up there, unless he's listening to the stream, or if Gilbert said it over comms. Well, this could get dicey. As McFadden lets Patty go into his stall, perfect as you'd like. But Patty may not know about Gilbert's eventful pit stop here.
That as Dempster takes the lead. Gilbert actually getting around Tanner Costa now. But you're right there, though, Frank. He's lost a ton of time, because remember how far back Tanner Costa was before the pit stops happened, and Patty able to get out of pit road way ahead of Kyle Gilbert now.
Yeah, that could be the race there for Gilbert. Unless there's a caution, that could be the race for him. Dempster now, he is off. He does have the fastest truck on the circuit. Not right at this very second, but he will certainly have the fastest truck on the circuit. He is off sequence as well. Talking about, you got 36 laps to go here.
Yeah.
Maybe. Patty Dempster can make it on one more stop. Is Patty going to try to push it, or is he just going to bring it in at some point?
Well, Dempster is still clutching that engine through the corners, so he's desperately trying to save fuel. That's letting Mark McFadden stay behind him. A bit of an update on Devon Doss and Matthew Tyrrell. As Tyrrell has just been in pit road. There is Bob Lacavara as well. We've got three playoff drivers very much on the back foot. Devon Doss there at the back with battling out with Tyron Harris for position. Bob Lacavara there as well, and Matthew Tyrrell. And after, like you mentioned, he swept the round of 12, but this round of 8 is really he's been really off colour in this round of 8.
He has swept the round of 12 at two completely different style racetracks. First at the Roval at Charlotte, and then North Wilkesboro. So he's shown that he can win at multiple different disciplines in these trucks. It's just that we got a caution here. We do have our first caution of the night.
Sean Weaver in trouble there as he's spinning through the tri-oval. And let's see what happened here. He came, I think it was after the pit stop here. We're going to see how he fared through the pit stop. We're just going to fast forward that. We're going to see how he fared when he came out of his pit box. Now, I'm guessing he might have got loose on pit exit.
No, he got loose in the middle of 3 and 4. And I can't tell. I'm going to try to get to the cockpit cam here. I don't know if he was coming into the pits and just locked the rears up, or what happened. Let me see here. No, it looks like the back end of the truck just came around, and he fought valiantly to keep it going straight. Kept it off of everything, but now that completely puts the pit strategy and who can finish and who can't completely kaput, as Cody Dempster again pitted really early to take that fast repair. That has put him in the catbird seat. Fastest truck, new tires, right up to the top of the table.
Yeah, and Ryan Patty, Carl Gilbert, Tanner Costa, Rob Jenkins, Mark Jenkins, Ronnie Osmer, Lonnie Barrington, all going in with him. Kevin Paskwich has gone
Lucky
in as
dog.
well. Oh, he's lucky dog, is he?
Yeah, Paskovich was the lucky dog, yes.
But let's see who wins the race off pit road here. I apologize for the darkness of the track. I don't know why it's doing that, but...
Who is that out first? That is... Yep.
Oh,
No,
Dempster.
that was Dempster. Dempster, Gilbert, Patty, and then Coster. So Gilbert, it looked like all hope was lost for him, and he's now right back in it. A lot of guys that needed a caution just got very, very lucky here with this caution. 85 laps into this event?
Yeah, so I'm just turning up the exposure on the track there because I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, they did. It's a very dark and dull track to begin with. But Dempster getting out of pit road first. You're going to see a lot of these guys now that have stayed out on circuit. You got McFadden in the 67, Dawson the 95, Harris in the 1. Blackavara's already pulled it off the racing surface. He's coming in. Whitaker coming in, the 37 of Weaver, who brought out the caution. And something interesting to note here, Matt Tyrrell banking on another caution. He has stayed out to take the wave around here.
very big gamble there for Matthew Tyrrell, and he is going to get back on the lead lap with this wave around, but yeah,
Harris and McFadden have taken the wave around as well.
So interesting turn of events here. We're going to go to Matthew Tyrrell. You see him right there, just behind the pace truck. You mentioned Tyron Harris and well, Sean Weaver's just coming out of pit road now. He's going to stay a couple of laps down, as Mike Whitaker right there as well coming out of pit road. Bob Lacavara, Devin Doss opting to go into pit road. So bit of a split strategy there for the two teammates there at Rugby.
Yeah, Tyrrell 1 lap down, Doss 2 laps down. Really didn't benefit him much to have stayed out and taken that wave around. Doss, it really has not been in the race anyway. He had gotten up to P10 after not taking qualifying and starting 15th, smacked the wall, and he's been floundering at the back of the field ever since.
As we are still under caution here. Our first caution of the night, which is pretty impressive for these guys.
It has been. It has been an absolutely fantastic, clean race and a lot of good racing for the lead, which is where, if you want to see good racing, that's where you want to see it, for the lead.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing that brought out the caution was a cell spin coming out of turn 4, so that was...
it is. It's been an incredibly clean race thus far this evening. I think Tyrrell is banking on it not being a clean race for much longer, though. It's our pole sitter again, as we mentioned, getting that wave around. Just hoping for the old phrase to ring true: cautions breed cautions.
And there is Matthew Tyrrell. Lights are still on the pace truck. I wonder if we should ring him up and see how he's feeling right now.
I'd love to know what he's thinking right now.
Okay, so we're going to bring up Matthew Tyrrell to the booth, and Matthew Tyrrell going to join us in the booth, and Frank, you're with him right now.
Hey.
Matthew Tyrrell, Frank Marchese at the booth. You got me?
Yep.
What? Taking the wave around here. I'm assuming you're hoping for for another caution here to get you back into it.
I've only got 5 or 6 laps on tires, so I need to do something.
That wall, that smack of the wall that really put you back, how badly did that hurt the handling of your car? We could see it in the times, and we could see it as far as how far you fell off of that lead pack. How badly did it affect the handling of that car?
It wasn't incredibly awful, it just got tight. The big thing that really screwed me was going 60 in a 45.
That definitely will definitely will put you back. Well, we'll let you get back to it as you're taking your wave around now. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
As that was Matthew Tyrrell just joining us in the booth, and we're on board with Matthew Tyrrell right now as he's taking his wave around. Didn't sound very pleased there, did he?
No, and I don't know if he was very pleased by the line of questioning or with what had been going on. But he's got a great shot now to try to fight back into it. As he mentioned, he's only got a couple laps on the tires, which is, thankfully he said that because I didn't see when he came in. So he's only got a couple laps on those tires. He set the pole time, so you know he's got a quick truck. We'll see what he can do from here.
So lights are off on the pace truck here. Cody Dempster going to be restarting on the inside line with Kyle Gilbert to his outside. Gilbert has led the most laps here tonight, so he's going to be looking to get back to the front again. Don't count out Ryan Patty, and especially don't count out Tanner Costa or any of the Jenkins brothers behind him, or Ronnie Osmer. Everybody's in with a chance to win this one, but you've got to think that Gilbert, Dempster and Patty have been the class of the field here tonight so far.
They definitely have, and Tyrrell is, I believe, Dempster gets the early jump there, spreads it out a little bit. Boy, Barrington got a dreadful start on that inside line.
Yeah, bad restart by Lonnie Barrington as he's fallen back behind Devon Doss now. Doss obviously still 2 laps down, so very unfortunate for Barrington to be on the back foot, but big restart for Cody Dempster and a big restart for Ryan Patty as well as he's looking to the inside of Carl Gilbert, moving into turn 3. Gilbert going to use that outside line to his advantage though, I believe, and hold on to that second place, or will he? Because Patty looks like he might have the measure of him coming down towards the line now. And Gilbert, wow.
Patty will definitely have the advantage going into turn number 1, but Coster on that outside pushing Gilbert along. Gonna give Gilbert the spot, and Patty just sneaks that truck into a spot barely big enough for him.
As a famous movie character once said, like a glove.
That was a very snug glove.
Yeah. So Dempster off into the distance here as we're still seeing battling here between Gilbert and Patty. Tanner Costa looking for a way by as well as Gilbert getting a bit out of shape there through 1 and 2. And that might let Costa in towards turn 3. And here comes Rob Jenkins as well looking to the inside.
Yeah, he clipped the apron in the middle of 1 and 2 there and just stuffed everybody up behind him. I believe Coster got into the back of him. It doesn't look like he did much damage to either one of them. But Coster now is going to try to get under Gilbert, try to fight for this third place spot here as Osmer goes to the outside. Watch the wall.
Yeah, and Tyrrell's still 1 lap down, I believe, so still got time to make up here as Dempster out to more than a second's lead here as Patty's starting to pull away. Gilbert finally gets it all figured out there as they all start going single file now.
Yeah, this is what Tyrrell was hoping for, the whole pre-cautions bit. Crazy racing here very early on in this run. Trucks are going to be very loose. This track gets loose as it rubbers in anyway. And just being a race at night loosens this track up quite a bit. So just a lot of close racing here early on. A lot of chance for calamity. Everyone gets through it unscathed.
Still focused on Tanner Costa here as he's still trying to trail down Kyle Gilbert. Right behind them though, Rob Jenkins still in a battle with Ronnie Osmer. Osmer on the outside, Jenkins on the inside, and Jenkins going to take away 5th place from the 55. So he is another driver trying to point his way into the final 4, and it's looking good for him so far. He's another one of the drivers on the outside looking in and sitting in 5th place, 3rd in line of the playoff drivers. It's looking pretty positive for him right now, with Pasky and Barrington still on the lead lap in 8th and 9th, but Tyrrell, Doss and Lacavara still looking in deep trouble.
And as I said, with the 89 of Jenkins, as he actually gets past Coster here, quiet night doesn't always mean a bad night. He's had a quiet night, but it has been very, very good and very, very positive for Rob Jenkins in the 89 Silverado.
Yeah, so his next target will be Kyle Gilbert, as Gilbert's still struggling to stay behind Ryan Patty. And this race has been very much a race of strategies here tonight. I will be honest, coming into this one, I was not expecting such a strategy-filled race, but it has been that. And we've seen a couple of surprises up the front. Not more so than Cody Dempster leading this race like he is, and Ryan Patty in 2nd place. But the playoff drivers that you'd expect to be right up there really struggling in this one tonight.
Yeah, Doss, again, as we've mentioned multiple times, Doss, having not taken qualifying, had put himself in the back of the field. Tyrrell had the issue where he smacked the wall and then got the pit road speeding penalty, put himself back there. Barrington just has not had the pace, and really neither has Paskowicz. They really just have not had the pace tonight that Kyle Gilbert has had. Coster's been in a solid position, especially after winning. So it's been it's been they've kind of been where they were, or where they were supposed to be. If you paid attention to qualifying, really, except for Tyrrell, who started on the pole and then got himself into trouble, put himself in the back.
Going back to this battle for 2nd place now, and it is a battle for 2nd place because they've slowly reeled in Patty once again, and we've got Patty, Gilbert, Rob Jenkins, Tanner Costa, Ronnie Osmer, and if you can kind of count.
Just took 3rd place away. There was no excuse me. There was no let's race this out. That was I am taking this from Jenkins to Gilbert. And I think Coster's looking to do the same.
Yeah, it's one of those big whoop, want to fight about it type of deal. So
yeah, pretty much.
So
just got a great run out of 4 and just took it right around Gilbert.
Yeah, so Jenkins up to 3rd now, Gilbert into 4th as Dempster into pit road. No, we've lost Dempster. Wow, what's happened to... Oh, no.
Yeah, lag, I think.
We can't lose him in this stage of the race. That would be heartbreaking.
Oh, this would be awful. Oh, there he is. Oh. Oh, boy.
It looks like he's figured it out now.
Yes, the same thing happens. Same thing happens with my connection races. It'll have a fit like once or twice a race, but from there on, it's fine. Hopefully, that was just a fit for Dempster and not a continuing issue here, as we got less than 20 to go here.
That's 17 laps to go in this race, and it's flown by very quickly. I mean, it's only 10:30 on the East Coast, so, you know, that'll tell you how quickly the race has gone by.
Yeah, just the total in this race session. We've only spent an hour and 5 minutes in this race session alone. Now, that's not race time. That timer starts at grid up. So this race is probably just about an hour long, and we got 15 and a half laps to go.
Yeah, as we're still looking at Rob Jenkins there, still ahead of Kyle Gilbert. As we're still looking at this pack of trucks here, and it's not a battle for 2nd place anymore because Patty's starting to pull away again. And it looks like Patty is starting to reel in Dempster as well, so expect these two to maybe have a battle here, as we've got side-by-side action between Costa and Osmer. That could have ended badly.
It definitely could have. And just to go back to that fight between Patty and Dempster, about 5/1000ths of a second that separated those two in lap times last time through. This time here, Dempster with a 32.205, Patty with a 249. So they are very, very close on times, and you can tell as Patty is starting to pull away from the 89 of Jenkins, who is starting to pull away from the 227 of Kyle Gilbert, who dominated the first half of this race.
Now, and look behind them, big battles going on. Costa, Osmer, and Mark Jenkins in a pretty big battle there. And Costa does not want to see this happen. Obviously,
if I were Costa, I'd just bail out of this.
Yeah.
You're above two guys that are fighting. They're not playoff guys. You are in the playoffs now. Granted, you have a solid cushion after winning at Talladega this week, but I don't want to take any chances.
No. It does have a pretty hefty lead at the top, though, so he's probably not too worried, but, you know.
Still, anything can happen. We've seen it. We saw it last week. He got away.
We saw it. Oh, Dempster's still having troubles with his connection.
And then Osborne gets a great run out of turn 4, and he will complete that pass on Tanner Coster going into turn 1, and now that'll leave the 33 of Jenkins to try to do the same. Jenkins been holding on to the back of this group here, which is now starting to spread out. Oh my goodness, he got a big tank slapper on going into 3.
Now Mark Jenkins, bit too much speed going into the corner and almost threw it all away there. They do have a pretty decent cushion over Kevin Pasky, which just seems to be holding station in P8 right now. I think that's kind of where he needs to be in relation to the playoff points, though, because he is second in the playoff standings. So as Doss brings it into pit road,
yes, second in the playoff standings and 4th of the playoff runners. And essentially, I mean, with the way the points are, it looks like it's, well, whoever finished the top 4 playoff finishers are going to be the ones that get in, and the 4 bottom ones are the ones that are going to be out. So Paskovich would be that last one in if that were the case.
Side-by-side action between Mark Jenkins and Tanner Costa. Jenkins going to dive into the inside of the 97 here as they come out of turn 2, and Jenkins going to move up to P6. Costa going to fall back to P7. Still comfortably ahead of Paskwich, so no problems there for Costa right now. Just back out, chill out, and enjoy the rest of the race, sir, as we're 10 laps to go now in this one. Dempster still out to a decent enough lead over Patty, but Patty's still trying to close that gap in the closing stages of this race here, Frank.
Yeah, and you mentioned Devin Doss pulling it into the pits. He's also pulled it off. Devin Doss officially a DNF as he has disconnected from the session.
I'm guessing his hopes of a Final 4 finish
have disappeared with that.
Yeah. That's unfortunate for Devin Doss. He got his first ever Pasky's win earlier in the season, and was really looking good last time out of Talladega, but unfortunately it has really come apart for him in this one, and it's sad to see him drop out at this late stage of the playoffs as with 8 laps to go, and if things stay the same, it's looking like possibly Matthew Tyrrell and Bob Lacavara will be joining him.
Yeah, it does look that way. And again, as we mentioned before, Tyrrell having swept the round of 12, that's a really big letdown for Tyrrell, a personal letdown too. It was 2 simple mistakes that unfortunately he hasn't been able to recover from.
So 7 laps to go here, all to play for, not just for the race win, because Dempster's still out to a decent lead over Ryan Patty, but for the playoffs positions as well, as Rob Jenkins is the lead playoff driver as it stands right now. Kyle Gilbert sitting in P4 is second in the playoff standings. So, as Mark Jenkins scrapes the wall coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, Jenkins has been pushing it. He's been a little bit wild. He got a little loose coming out of 2 and down the back the lap prior, so he is really pushing that number 33 Wrangler machine.
Trying desperately to get up to the back of Ronnie Osmer, who's occupying that last spot in the top 5 in his Hour Motorsports number 55.
And that's just a fight for pride there. Neither one of those two are in the playoffs. They started the playoffs in it, however, have not been able to stay in it.
Yeah. And Osmer had a good run near the end of the regular season. I mean, he was trying desperately to get up to the playoff spots. I mean, only 12 people progress into the playoffs. Ronnie just missing out. So, unfortunately, he's just racing for pride. Next season, he'll be back full-time. So, watch for him to try and reclaim his Season 1 crown, because when Ronnie's on it, he's unstoppable.
And that'll be very, very fun to see, especially with the change that's coming to the series. Be very interesting to see where the cream comes from. That is, it's going to rise to the top of Pasky's.
Well, I already know what color scheme one driver is going to go with, and he's already running said color scheme. So
I was going to say, I think I could. I mean, I haven't been here too long, but I think I can figure out what scheme what certain driver is going to be running.
And we're looking at him right now. There's Mark Jenkins already running the 33 Wrangler scheme, which comes as standard on the Chevrolet Monte Carlo, the 1987 Monte Carlo, which is one of the new old cars. As while we've been talking, the time's just passed away, and we've only got 3 laps to go here, Frank. And look how close it is.
Yeah, look at how close we've gotten to this lead pack. Patty has caught up to Dempster. He's going to make these last 2 laps a very interesting one. He's pulled it back from about 3 seconds. They are now 0.4 of a second separating each other. This is going to be good.
Yeah, popsicle sticks are in the air, so Ryan Patty is caught up to the back of Cody Dempster, and it's between these two drivers because they have completely pulled away from Rob Jenkins, who's just back there in 3rd place. That should be enough to get him into the final 4, but we're going to focus on these two for now as they make their way through 3 and 4. Dempster has the lead still, but as the white flag comes out, what can Ryan Patty do here to close down and try and get his first? Both of these drivers actually trying to get their first race wins in Paskies. Dempster a full-time runner, Patty Dempster a part-time runner, Patty a full-time runner. It's very good to see new winners. We've already seen a fair few new winners in this season so far, but we're going to add one more here tonight, and it looks like it might be Cody Dempster because Patty getting a bit out of shape going into 3. That might have cost him the win right there as they come flying out of turn 4. Cody Dempster has controlled this race since the drop of the green flag after the last caution and wins at Kentucky. Big victory there for Cody Dempster and a big second place for Ryan Patty, but Rob Jenkins, crucially, looks like he might have pointed his way into the final 4, as does Kyle Gilbert. Ronnie Osborne going to cross the line for P5. Mark Jenkins for P6. Tanner Costa, who won back at Talladega, is in P7. Paskowicz in P8 as Lonnie Barrington in P9, and Mark McFadden rounds out your top 10. It looks like Matt Tyrrell might have suicided into the wall just there.
Yeah, and it's just those simple little mistakes that are avoidable that will catch you every time. But congratulations to Cody Dempster. You could tell very early on that he had a race-winning truck, and he put it in victory lane. Congratulations to Dempster there.
Yeah, and we're going to get a word in with him in just a second. Let him just do his burnouts, and while he's doing that, and we're going to put it on that. We're going to go and grab away with our 3rd place finish. That'll be Mr. Rob Jenkins, and we'll find him, and there he is. Let's bring him down to the booth now. Rob, 3rd place on the night. That's really got to put you in a good spot for the final 4 after tonight.
Yeah, good, man. I'm very satisfied with that finish. Highest of the playoff guys. Kind of had some nerves there in the beginning of the race and got into the wall, and a couple other things happened. Just kind of kept digging after that. Worked out good, man.
Yeah, like I said, you were on the outside looking in coming into tonight, but you've really stamped your authority near the end of the race. Let's talk about one particular situation, that monstrous pass he put on Kyle Gilbert in the last 15 to 20 laps. That must have taken some balls to do that.
Yeah, I don't honestly quite remember it. I know I got by them. Seemed like they're in the middle of the run. I don't know if they had run their tires off a little bit. What, I don't know. It seemed like he got a little bit tight, and yeah, I was able to get by him.
All right, well, Rob, definitely well deserved here. Third place on the night in that number 89 Jenkins construction machine. Looking ahead to next week, I know we don't know what the track is next week, but if I still got to tally the points, and I'll do that once this broadcast is over. But looking likely that you might have made it into the top 4. So, what are your thoughts heading into that final 4?
Anything but a road course. If it's a road course, then they would probably have to take each other out for me to come home with a victory. I'm kind of hoping for, I don't know, like a Dover or maybe Darlington or Rockingham, something to put it in the driver's hand. All
right. Well, Rob, one more time, congratulations on the podium here tonight. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Yeah, my teammate, my brother Mark, and I guess new teammate Mark McFadden. They're nothing else, kind of a comfort on the radio. Mark kind of helped me, back my corners up, get a little bit faster, and just appreciate their help.
All right then, Rob, congratulations, and we will see you next week at whatever track we end up going to.
TN4, real quick, hi Mom, love you. Came home third. We're in the playoffs, baby.
That was Rob Jenkins joining me in the booth. Now we're going to go to our second place finisher. That would be Ryan Patty. And Frank, I believe you're with him right now.
Yes, I am. Ryan Patty, congratulations. A great second place finish for you tonight.
Thanks, Frank. Yeah, that was an amazing race, man. I wish we could have gone green all the way. We had a pretty good chance to get him.
You definitely did. Did you know about the issues that Gilbert had on that pit stop that allowed you to get that big 8-second lead?
I didn't know. I noticed he had clipped the wall a couple times. I didn't know if he didn't take his fast repair and was trying to repair some damage under green. But yeah, I had no idea why he was so far back.
Yeah, he had blown through the box, which that was a big instrumental in giving you that huge lead. What was a little bit of an issue on that last pit stop that put you back a little bit? What happened on that last pit stop for you guys?
Yeah, honestly, I was trying to play it safe. The last thing I needed was a speeding penalty or to miss my box. And, if Kyle got in front of me and I was able to restart third on the inside, it's still a pretty decent spot. And I had a good shot of getting in a turn 1 on the inside, which I did, and getting around Kyle pretty quickly there. I think I had to get around him again, but I knew we had a good long run car, so I wasn't too concerned with the restart, and I was hoping that we'd be able to catch him in the long run. Just too many mistakes there. Cody had a great run. Got to congratulate him, man. He drove a hell of a race.
As the race wore on, which line do you think? It looked like the inside was definitely the preferred line early on in the run. But as the race went on, do you think that line definitely moved up to the outside, or do you think the bottom was still the preferred line?
Honestly, it kind of went back and forth, because you want that inside line on the restart. But after 2 or 3 laps, I was able to get around Kyle on the outside there almost no problem. Just kind of matted it and made sure I lifted it the right point. But then you get into 3 and 4, and it's a totally different story because there's so much less banking down there. And I was letting off way earlier than any of the other drivers, and I think that's what was helping me out in the long run.
Well, congratulations on your second place victory. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks, Frank. I gotta thank my wife for letting me do this every week, and of course some sponsors here. We got Kellogg's, Valvoline. She's it on the car this week, man. She was fast, light as air.
Congratulations, bud.
Thanks, Frank.
So that was our second place finisher, Mr. Ryan Patty. Very happy to be finishing on the podium here tonight at Kentucky. But let's bring up the race winner then, shall we? Let's bring up Cody Dempster. And this is a guy I know. He's always been very fast, but this is the first time I've had the pleasure of interviewing him in Victory Lane. Cody, I suppose it's the first time for everything, right?
Yeah, I've commentated this series with you. I've commentated other series with you, and this is a first for me to be interviewed by you in Victory Lane. So it's definitely a pleasure and a different experience.
Yeah, and this is the first time I've actually seen you run with Pasky. Obviously, you've ran here before. Obviously, we didn't broadcast that race, but You seem to have the legs on everybody around here tonight. You just seem to have that truck hooked up, especially when you went off sequence, and you just seem to be faster than everybody, even on old tires.
Yeah, I mean, Raven West Sim Sport gave me a great truck tonight. We worked, me and my spotter worked pretty good on my line throughout practice, and when we pit off sequence, it was a kind of a iffy matter because we ended up being 2 laps short on fuel, and that caution saved me greatly. And I think it was just a great race overall. Everyone raced hard, everyone raced clean, and for me to come back for my first time in forever, ever since these guys stopped running the Xfinity car, I'm pretty proud of the effort that we put in.
Yeah, and it was very big effort for yourself. I mean, after the caution came out, you had a pretty decent lead. I bet you were kind of banging your steering wheel seeing that yellow flag come out late on.
Honestly, that yellow flag, I was banging my steering wheel, but I was banging it in a heck yeah, because we needed that. We were 2 laps short on fuel, and so that allowed us to get new tires while in the lead and get fuel. And we didn't have to push in on pit lane, trying to make sure we came out first. We could just go into the box, out of the box easy, and go on and restart on the pole.
Absolutely, and you come home with the victory here tonight. You're going to try and run this full time next season. Obviously, we're going to the Classic Cup cars next season. What are you thinking? You're going to come back for a full time run?
I'd love to come back for a full time. As you know, I race cars in real life, and it just depends on what my schedule looks like, as well as I'm starting school full time in August. So it just kind of depends on what kind of time frames line up and all that, and we'll play it from there.
All right then, Cody. Before I let you go and celebrate your big victory here tonight, what do you, anyone you want to give a shout out to, say thanks to for your win?
Raven West Sim Sport first and foremost. Me and my spotter were working great tonight, and he was helping me, trying to get me that win. Trent Goodrow Designs made this awesome paint for all of the vehicles that we have, and Absolute Sim Marketing has done a great deal of work and has gone above and beyond for everything that I've ever asked for. So if you're ever in the need for anything from in the sim marketing world, graphics, overlays, anything, that's where you want to go.
All right then, Cody. Well, congratulations on the win one more time. Frank, anything you need to add before I let him go?
No, congratulations. It's a great drive. You could tell very, very early on that you were going to have the truck to beat, and wouldn't you know who won the pony?
Well, I appreciate it, guys, and thank you for broadcasting, as always.
All right, well, that was Cody Dempster in the number 21 machine, bringing home the victory here tonight. Frank, very good race here tonight. Very clean racing, but it was always going to come down to who had the better strategy. It seems like Cody Dempster had the trump card on everybody here tonight.
Yeah, he definitely did have the trump card, a better car, and a great restart. I mean, his truck today was so quick. And Patty, as he said during his interview with me, is he had a very, very good long-run truck. And unfortunately, that run was just not long enough, as he was able to pull up to Dempster. I think if he would have had another 3 or 4 more laps, he might have been able to get him. But a fantastic race all around from all of these guys.
Absolutely. So with that, let's go to the results of tonight's race. I'm trying to do, I don't know what I'm trying to do here, but I'm trying to do 1,000 things at once anyway. Let's go to the results for tonight's race as we get ready to go get out of here and get these points updated, because I know the drivers will be eager to know what's going on. So let's get the results underway and we can get ourselves out of here for this one. So let's see who finished where, and coming home with the win was Cody Dempster. Absolutely put a class on the field, but Ryan Patty was almost there at the end. He finishes in second. Rob Jenkins really helped himself in the playoff points there. He gets third, and Carl Gilbert in fourth as well. He was also on the outside looking in, coming into tonight. Fifth is Ronnie Osmer. Sixth going to Mark Jenkins. Seventh to Tanner Costa. Eighth to Kevin Pasky, which we'll find out where they finished out in the playoff points once we get them tallied up. Frank, you got the rest of them?
Lonnie Barrett coming home in 9th. Last car on the lead lap comes home in 10th. That's Mark McFadden. My Whitaker set those 11th, 1 lap down Matthew Tickle, 1 lap down Tyrone Harris, 1 lap down as well from 13th Sean Bieber, who was the only caution of the race, coming 14th, 2 laps down, Pablo Camargo, 15th, 2 laps down, and then Devin Dobbs called it a night. 13 laps early, he will come home in 16th.
So that was the results for tonight's race, and a unfortunate race for some, but a great race for others. A fantastic race all around. Only 1 caution on the night, and that will do it for everybody out on track. A big thank you to everybody that tuned in. Frank, thank you for joining me in the booth one more time. It's been a blast having you up here. But for now, all that's left for me to say is keep it clean, keep it green, and we will see you next time here on ESPN. Have a good night.